Hey guys, so I'm Dr. Damon here with Dr. Donnell Cole, and we're with Modern Manhood Foundation for another episode of Focus on Neurosis. We're here on the set of the new film by Neurosis Studios called Neurosis, and we've got a special guest with us that we can't wait to introduce you to. Tell us a little bit about Modern Manhood, though.
So listen, you all, if you aren't familiar with our organization, we are founders of Modern Manhood Foundation, and our mission is to equip men with skills and tools to grow and build healthy communities.
Right, and a part of that looks like this. We're really excited to support this new film. It's a full-length feature film, which I can't wait to show you guys the trailer, but more particularly, we want to get you guys behind the scenes so that we can learn more about the foundation of the film, how it meets us in our communities, and what we can do. So when we talk about Focus on Neurosis, this is our way of really bringing stress awareness, stress management, and showing you guys what's happening on the ground right now. So without further ado, we want to introduce you guys to the writer of the movie, like literally who took this idea from her mind, put it to paper, and then it turns into this, the set. So this is Francine Lawson. She's the writer of Neurosis, and we can't wait for you guys to hear about this experience with us.
So welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to
Ready to
have
get
you.
going. Tell you what you want, whatever you want to know.
We were talking a little bit before we started camera, and Donnell really pointed out that this story, with all of its ups and downs and the trauma and the drama and the stress of it all, it really grabs us. Where did that inspiration come for you to write something like this?
Actually, the inspiration came from the directors, Marcus and DeCoven. They had an idea for a story, and they called all the writers in, and we all sat down and kind of played off of each other. And then I tended to take it a little left from where they were going. They liked that idea, so they said, okay, we're going to give that to you. And that's how I got to writing Neurosis.
Yeah. You're a writer. Tell us about some of your work that really brought you to this space.
Okay, I am a novelist, and I have 2 novels out presently. Yes, and you can get them on Amazon.com. We'll probably put the information.
Yeah, we'll share the link for sure.
Okay, and I've written poetry. I've just always written a lot, and this is my first time actually getting into screenwriting, not with Neurosis, but other works that I have done for Marcus and DeCoven that we're waiting to see if they kind of take off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me in writing.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I got a question. In terms of the development of the characters, the things that take place, what is something that stood out the most in terms of you writing it and seeing the production take place?
What stood out most is when I'm in my office, it's just me. So when I'm creating a character based on what information I've been given by the directors, I have to also inject a little bit of myself in there. So there's a lot of research that goes on. There's a lot of back and forth in my own head about would a character do this? Would a character do that? What environment would he be in? How professional is he? There's a lot of mind building as far as world building is concerned. In this case, it was office building. But when I walked in and I saw, I couldn't believe that how well they interpreted what was in my head.
It's beautiful.
Everything that you see here, plus more, was in my head. And there's Marcus is in here, DeCoven's got touches in here, but it was just amazing.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
What do you think are some things that you've learned about stress in terms of the characters when you see the action being acted?
I've learned a lot about stress in that how men and women differ so greatly in how we handle stress. Women are more extroverted. We will talk, we will cry, we will be emotional most times when we have something that we're dealing with, where men have been always told, man up.
Yeah.
Man up, which is a term I've learned to really come to dislike greatly. But they take that from being little boys to men, and they feel that's a sign of weakness to show emotion. And if you don't let that stress out, all kinds of psychological issues can begin to happen. So again, just the differences between the way men and women handle stress.
You know, you had shared with us before that you also considered even layers beyond that, such as not only how does a man show up in this space, but how would a black man have
Yes.
something like
Yes.
Yes.
Black men especially are the term "man up" really comes from the black community.
Yeah.
Because we teach our boys to be strong and to take care of women. Okay, that's one process of manning up. We also teach them you don't cry. Boys don't cry.
Yeah.
You know, but you will tend to see in the black community that men, they'll act a certain way, but you have no idea how much stress and their thought process they're going through in just one split second.
Yeah.
Trying to deal with, am I being a man? I can't show emotion. I keep it bottled up. Black men particularly.
Yeah. And so now that calls the question, what are some things that you probably learned that really hit you from asking? Because you've done research, I'm assuming counselors, close friends and family. How do you think is there anything that you've heard from them that really allowed you to see the significance of what you was developing with this project?
Yes, because I actually did not know that it was going to have the effect that it does have so far. Anyway, I think that what I find most interesting about black men is that in talking to my brothers and talking to Marcus and talking to just different men, there's a big difference between just black men and black soldiers. Soldiers are trained they're already trained to man up, but then the military takes them and for years is telling them one thing.
Yeah.
And that is you follow directions, you don't, go off of schedule for any reason whatsoever, and there is no excuse. There is no excuse.
Yeah.
They leave that environment and then they go back to, after years of being out there, going back to their homes, their wives, their children, their mothers, and they're having a hard time just mentally getting out of that headspace between man up as a boy and soldier up as a man, and then we're gonna let you go, just do what you want to do.
To say that makes so much sense. We sat, on a previous episode where we focused on veterans and stress, and with Donnell, with Courtney Macwoods McLean, who is the star of the film, and of course with Marcus E. Brown, and we had a little bit of that conversation, and we see that in the character. He's a veteran himself, and we want to see those things on screen, and you've done such a beautiful job of really bringing them to life in just the moment of what this film explores in their life. That's one of the major things that we see in what Notice Studios wants to do. They want people to see themselves on the big screen. They want people to see themselves and those they care about as entertainment, but engaging.